We're with Dr. Denise Wunderler, sports medicine physician, lives in Homedale, works out of Freehold, and something very special is happening this weekend in her family. We want to learn about that. Denise, welcome, first of all.
Thank you so much for having me, Lou.
So tell us Vienna's story.
So my daughter Vienna was almost 3 years old, and she was born January 19th, this Sunday, 2015, and she died tragically a little more than 2 years ago. It was on November 12th, 2017. She fell asleep watching television with our older son and daughter and never woke up. And we had no idea what happened this day. My husband and I were coming home from a wedding, and our babysitter was there. And then we received a frantic phone call at 7:02 that p.m. that Vienna wasn't breathing and paramedics were on their way. So we learned the next day from Vienna's medical examiner that she thinks that this would be a case of sudden unexplained death in childhood, SUDC. And with my husband and I both being physicians, we had no idea what this was, and we were shocked that we did not know what this was. And so she explained what it was, and what it is a category of death in kids 1 to 18 years old, where after a thorough investigation, including autopsy, medical record review, and death scene investigation, that there's no explanation for the death of these kids, 1 to 18. Of course, we're shocked because we knew of SIDS being the babies less than 1 year old, but never learned about SUDC, 1 to 18, with these kids. So Vienna, of course, being this special little girl, her birthday being this Sunday, she should be 5 years old. And it was a very tragic day for us and every day afterwards.
So one of the things you've done is you've started a charity organization because research needs to be done.
Absolutely.
Information needs to be learned. People need to be aware of what's going on. So tell us about Team Vienna.
Right. So shortly after Vienna died, my husband and I were discussing, and said, she wasn't here even 3 years, but her legacy can't just end with that. She was such an amazing little girl and had so many friends from all different places in her little preschool, and even though they didn't have the same language, but they spoke the common language of love and play, and so we wanted to honor her, and so that was number one. But of course, awareness and education for SUDC and supporting the research, because there's very, very little research about SUDC, and it's not publicly funded. It's family nonprofits and individuals who donate to the research studies to get these studies underway. So Team Vienna, we do various events, and it's really it's a group of people who were always welcoming more people to honor Vienna and to raise awareness of this category of death that nobody knows about, especially in the medical community. And we know there's power in numbers. So the more people we have at our events, then the better off this is going to be in the long term, and hopefully then we get some answers eventually.
It's a wonderful website with a great deal of information, and we sure hope that you can get to the website and learn all about this. Any family wants to know as much as they can about this and help in any way they can. What's the website?
It's Team Vienna, SUDC.org.
We also have these beautiful roses sitting beside you. They're very special. Tell us about those.
They are. Yes, so after Vienna died, I had a lot of different projects and just things going through my head, of course. And the first thing that came to me was, again, with the legacy of Vienna, spreading her sunshine and happiness. And so I wrote this within about a couple weeks after she died. I wrote, "Our beautiful Vienna was born January 19, 2015. She suddenly and unexpectedly entered heaven on November 12, 2017, due to SUDC. During her short, precious life, she smiled every day and was a ray of sunshine to everyone she met. Please smile and keep this flower, or smile and pass it on. It would honor her memory to share a moment of love and happiness." So thank you, and from our family. So I had these cards made, and then the first year I bought 33 dozen roses and gave them out to strangers, people we knew, everybody, to introduce Vienna to everybody. And then also, starting the mission of educating about SUDC. So when people see those letters, we didn't have a website at that time or even a nonprofit at that time. And at least maybe they would look it up and say, well, what is this? She was a young girl. She must have been sick, but she was not. She was a healthy girl. There's nothing wrong with her. There was nothing that would have made us think to think differently about that day, that she wouldn't, live to the next day. That morning she woke up with a little low-grade fever, but what toddler doesn't have a lot of fevers, she had a lot of fevers because she went to childcare. My husband and I both work. So that wasn't an alarm to us to not go to the wedding. So we did go to a wedding that day. But she did great after a little Motrin, had a wonderful day, and then then this all happened at night. But a lot of kids are completely healthy in terms of no sniffles, no fever or anything. But this has been such a fantastic way also for me to deal with my grief too. I mean, Team Vienna is huge for many reasons, and one of the main reasons is because it also helps me just trying to deal with the the surviving the death of a child, especially one where we don't have an answer why she's not here. So these beautiful roses are donated to us by a florist and friend of mine, and so we give these out.
You also, let's talk about the song. I think most of us couldn't even imagine the courage it takes to put your thoughts in writing, and those words have turned into a song. Tell us about it.
Right. So, of course, after Vienna died, my mind was filled with so many different things. This was the first thing that was filled with these words, and then I was thinking about so many things, Vienna, I wanted to teach you, so many things I wanted to tell you, and you're not here, and we don't have an explanation, and so after those words were really like a hurricane, is really the best way I can describe this, Lou, and like a hurricane in my head. And 2 months after that, after they started, I put them down on my phone because I said, this is unbelievable, all these words in my head like this. Put them in my phone, and then my mind really quieted it. It was pretty amazing. And then 2 months after that, I texted them to Vienna's favorite musician, Ray Anderson, known to kids as Mr. Ray, and because he performed for her preschool every month. And so our kids, our whole family know him. And so I texted him, and I didn't say anything about it. I didn't ask him anything. And then within 5 days, he posted this amazing tribute to Vienna on Facebook and said, unbeknownst to Denise, Vienna's mom, I put music to her words, and here was this song. And I can't tell you how just tears poured from my eyes. I couldn't believe it. I called him, I called my husband, I said, I can't believe that this, that you did this. It's been such a gift to us and to so many other families who've lost a child, because as soon as Vienna died, my husband and I are looking to music to help, cope, some comfort, even though when there really isn't any comfort when you're a child. And so we couldn't really find any songs that really apply to us. And so the fact that Ray did this really means even more than I think what he even realizes, because we were looking for something and we never found what we needed at that time, and then he gave us this gift of song. And so many other families have benefited from the song as well. And talking to other SUDC families, learning that the kids of the SUDC siblings who have passed away, the kids who are still here on earth are requesting Vienna's song, on their way to childcare, and that just makes me so happy, because we want it to Vienna's legacy to live on, and just the amazing girl that she is. And it's interesting. I read a quote recently. It said, I always thought I'd have to teach my daughter about the world, but now I need to teach the world about my daughter. How amazing she is.
And you can see Denise performing that song on this post, as well as the links, which we urge you to read as much as you can about SUDC. Denise, we are so sorry for your loss and your family's loss, and we are so proud to join your journey to get the word out about this. And we'll be speaking with you again, and all the best to you.
Thank you so much, Lou, for having me. I really appreciate it.